So I don't usually make these types of videos, but I feel like it's very needed and necessary after all these years, that the Wiz YouTube community has been through. And I felt like, I think it's something that everyone should know or should be informed. And so basically the whole point of this video is to really analyze the rise and fall of the Wiz YouTube community, more or less, or the rundown of where it's been through these past, I'd say, eight to 10 years. And it's basically from my point of view and from my perspective of how this community has progressed over time and why it is the way it is today, and why it's probably, to be honest, like as dead as ever. And there's a lot of factors I'm gonna be talking about as to why it is the way it is as of now. I'm gonna be rambling on a bit, so there's a lot of things I need to go through here for you guys to really understand. So I'd suggest you guys sit back, relax, and if you guys want to hear some time out of my day, then get ready, because this might be a long video, depending on how long I take for one out. So whatever. I'm basically gonna be breaking this apart in waves of, or eras, more or less, of like the Wiz community, and like its highs and lows. So yeah, I'm gonna start off. So the first wave of Wiz YouTubers, I'd say, would start around Sniper Snape, Heather Shadow Slinger, and Wiz Arena. I did my best trying to research like all of these YouTubers from the past. I want to say, yeah, like 8 years, like 8 to 10 years, more or less, and whatnot. So throughout this time, I'd say nothing like I'm doing this based off of memory too, and based off of video contents that these channels have given off as well. But yeah, I'd say throughout this time, this era of Wiz YouTube was pretty much informative, to say at least like peaceful and whatnot. Wizard 101 was relatively new around this time. It was how old was it? Like, it depends, because this is around 2009 through not even 2009, but like 2008 through 2011 ish, more or less, where you would upload these all fire spells on Wizard 101, or all death spells on Wizard 101 or whatnot, and you would get a lot of views as well, because as I said before, the game was relatively new, and everybody was was trying to see what was this about and whatnot, what the game was about. And so I'd say it was more or less the origin of how everything started on the Wiz YouTube community. And yeah, there's not much to say about this, but other than the second and fourth wave is basically what I'm going to be mostly talking about. And yeah, so basically around the guys, like I said before, second wave was I Am the Ches, Blaze Lifehammer, Michael Stormwraith, Alexander Lionheart, Miss Courtney Olivia, and Coda Earthhorn. And as you said before, it's arguable that Jordan Fire and Alex the Crow, and even Zen Master Blue emerged around this time. So I think this is around this type of era is where Wiz made like an emerging outgrowth, like in Wiz YouTubers as well. Emerging content, a lot of PvP videos came around this era. Like this era was like around what, like 2012, 2013, arguably even like for a little bit further back from 2011 to 2013. Like around this era, I'd say like a lot of, like I said before, emerging content is coming out from here. Like, for example, Michael Stormwraith was I'd say like a big uh probably the him and Alexander Lionheart were probably like the creators of the genres of like solos on Wizard 101. Around this time I actually came out too. I started as a small Wiz YouTuber. I was kind of inspired by Michael Stormwraith and his solos. I was kind of surprised how there was like a lot of solos on Storm, Ice, Death, and I was kind of like surprised, like, oh, why isn't there a balanced one? So that's basically why I created my channel as of today. Well, not not today, but like back in 2013. That the Death Wizard 87 was another YouTuber solo that did those types of videos as well. I think his channel is like dead now though. It's like I think his channel's name is like called the Great Admiral Robbie and whatnot. So whatever. Blaze Lifehammer was probably like his subs were like probably growing exponentially at the time. I think this was probably one of the best times for me personally to be on this community, because there was a lot of updates around this time, such as Waterworks, one of the first dungeon solos that everybody would grind on so hard. And it was like the thing everyone was talking about during that time, because it was so I think it was like it was a game changer on this time for Wiz to drop such good gear that isn't from Dragonspire or from the Bazaar, but it's from a really hard dungeon. And it's one of the first times, or not the first, but one of the first times we were ever introduced to cheating bosses. What's his guy's name from Waterworks? I forgot his first name, but his last name was like Glowstorm. The Tower of the Elephant was another good dungeon. You got your blades and atoms. To be honest, I think it really was the peak of the Wiz YouTube community. There was no drama. There was no beef with anyone, as long as I know. Everybody made PvP videos, I guess, So basically, if to basically summarize this, I guess Blaze Lifehammer and Miss Courtney Olivia and maybe Alexander Lionheart as well, created most of the general info content on Wizard 101 and the new updates and whatnot, more or less. I'm the Chaz was more of a Wiz YouTuber that was more centered on comedy. And as I said before, Dakota Earthhorn was a major PvP Wiz YouTuber as well. All of them were pretty entertaining at the time. There was good updates, our life was good. And yeah, honestly, I don't have any complaints about that second wave of Wiz YouTubers. Later on, I want to say Zen Master Blue would join around this time, 2013, 2014, when Tartarus came out, remember? Where Blue would collab with Blaze Lifehammer a lot, or Nate, his real name. He would create a channel around this time. And Alex the Crow, shout outs to him. He was a good YouTuber that helped me out throughout this time. And that's pretty much it. So that's around the second wave of YouTube. And the third, so I want to move on to the third wave. So I want to say that the third wave of YouTube was probably the most toxic one of all time. This was around 2013. No, not even 2014. No, 2013 through 2015ish. This is where where the Wiz was still good, but it wasn't as good as before. And there was during this time there was a lot of more PvP content, so many much more YouTubers. But I really think this is where things started to decline here, more or less. So I'm not gonna shoot I'm not gonna target anyone. So, or maybe I will, but even if I do, I don't tend to bash on them or anything. I think it's just my point of view on the entire situation that happened throughout this time. And so basically around this time, there were good YouTubers that came as well. But okay, so I'm basically the YouTubers around this time were Chris Hunter, Heather the Wizard, Notorious Kyle, The Real J, Nectar and Honest, and Scala Mystic, and arguably James the Ace and KV Experiences. So throughout this time, PvP was really at its peak, I'd say, mostly because the main driving force of the PvP content on Wiz on YouTube was the Dakota Earthhorn, of course, The Real J, and small YouTubers at the time like Solo and Mega Mikey, Awesome Sauce, and whatnot. And during this time, I want to say like towards the beginning of the year, it was pretty good until there was a lot of beef and tension. And I think everything this was this was I'd say this was 3 or 4 years ago when this happened. The amount of toxic and drama that was during this time was ridiculous, because while to be honest, my opinions on the Heather the Wizard beef, I think no one really had what's the word I'm looking for? Okay, you know what? Okay, so in my personal opinion, personally, I think you guys might dislike me on this or not, whatnot. So, but it's my opinion. It's what I believe, and what what I thought of the situation. There was a lot of rumors of Heather the Wizard being catfish and whatnot. I'm not really gonna get into this. I think that maybe she wasn't, and the fact that she might have been older than what she would have said. Keep in mind this happened 3 or 4 years ago. So I'm doing this based off of memory, and my memory isn't that good. So anything I say about the situation is basically things I know for certain, things that happened. So I personally believe that Heather the Wizard might have not been a catfish. She might have lied about her age. I'll say that for sure. And I feel like she's definitely been to say the least, I think, based off of all these rumors and whatnot, I think she was very manipulative with the situation that was going on, based off of what the Real J said, the good Earthhorn. However, I am not defending them on the fact that they've been bashing on her for years and months throughout this time. Okay, if you wanna expose, not expose, but if you wanna say something about someone and you wanna tell the people the truth, okay, I guess it's you have every right, but it's not something you should really be prolonging to the point where you make a video about it every other month or something. Or because to be honest, that's what really, people like drama and whatnot, but in the long run, it really makes the community so much toxic. Oh my god. And honestly, the real Jay wasn't the, like, to be honest. I'm not justifying him because he would do this. Because if you go on his YouTube channel, there's multiple videos on this. Let me see. Don't get me wrong. He was a very entertaining PvP. Entertaining PvP YouTuber, but like, this is beef that happened like years ago, and then like this year, like, he comes out with it and like keeps on bashing her. The same thing that doesn't, like, I think it's very unnecessary, but whatever. So alright, so I went really far back on his channel. So look, so you guys could have an idea of what I'm talking about. Okay, I think I went too far back this time. Hold on, I'll be right back once I get it. Alright, so the first video. Look, I'm not making this video to bash on anyone, to be honest, but I think it's my point of, like, I think it's like my thoughts on the situation. So there's like legit 4 videos on Wizard 101 Catfished and Wizard 101 Catfish final thoughts. You know, which, okay, I agree. Like, if that's, you have the right to post that or whatever. And so if you go further back, like, okay, I understand, like, if you're gonna expose someone, or like, you know, if you're gonna, like, you know, yeah, like I said before, if you're gonna expose someone, alright, fine, do it, but don't prolongate it, because it makes it's so bad. The like I said before, it's so toxic, the fact that you get subscriptions every day on like so much beef and like bashing on people. And don't get me wrong, because Heather the Wizard, as she's very manipulative, and like, and she's not as like someone who you think she is. But I'm not even gonna get into that, because I don't agree with either side and how things were managed around this time. And then, yeah, so later on, a few years pass by, and you see, like, this type of, like, okay, Wizard 101 Catfish is out of the water. That was such an unnecessary video to do. Like, why? Like, it's ridiculous. And to be honest, the person that is most responsible for this type of toxic, like the toxic around this community back then, I'm not saying now, was Dakota Earthhorn, to be honest, because he was a very controversial YouTuber at the time. My God, like it's no wonder, honestly, it's no wonder he got banned, because I actually liked his PvP videos, but oh my God. Like, okay, Jay, he made videos on Heather, and like, it was a little bit extensive, but you know, I think he made his point clear, but his last video was really like unnecessary. But Dakota Earthhorn, oh my God, I swear, he was such a good YouTuber, and he was like really entertaining. But oh my God, like, it was so bad, like the amount of like videos you would do of Heather and like exposing her. I'm going on a ramble here, but you know, I'm gonna just end it there. Not just that, he was like, whatever. Moving on. I say the next I don't even know which wave I'm by. The third wave, I think, I'd say, of Wiz YouTubers would be, you know, that they started emerging around, like, they started around 2013, but towards the end of 2015ish, that's when they started to really grow. I'd say Soloin, Mega Mikey, Awesome the Sauce, Johnny Arkeem, and Anthony 101. I'd say this was like more of a rise in Wiz YouTube because Chrysalis Part 1 and 2 came out, and I think it was a really I think it was like a little bit of a resurgence on the Wiz community, because I think it was probably like one of the most overhyped, like uh not overweighted, but one of the most hyped worlds to like get like to be released around this time, that everyone was so excited about, because it was a conclusion of the second arc for Morganth, like for Chrysalis Part 2. And not just that, but like the Shadow Magic came out as well, and like a lot of people, disagreed on like whether 50% strike was like, too OP and whatnot. But to say the least, I think it was a pretty good time. A lot of there's like a lot of good content creators throughout this time as well. Not much to say here. They were all pretty good YouTubers, and probably till this day, the only one remaining would be from this list would be Awesome the Sauce and Anthony 101. I think Anthony 101 already. He's been here and there. I'm not sure because I don't watch his videos too much, but yeah. And the final one, wave, I guess, from Wiz YouTubers, and probably the only ones that are still around till this day, the major ones, I'd say would be It's Michael, FM Sorcerer, Terra Stormbreaker, and Blaze Lifehammer. I'm probably missing more, because like I don't even watch any, like barely watch any more Wizard 101 YouTube videos unless it's like for updates. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. In an overall view on how I see things, I think it's not just the Wiz community and like all the beef and drama that's to blame for, but part of it was also King's Isle, because there really was, yeah, they did release like a lot of new worlds, but there was like a lot of things that but the Wiz community will offer and help out to really like make the game better as a gaming experiences for them. But to be honest, they really wouldn't listen to the players at all until recently, where they would make new changes. When they would implement these new changes that players were wanting for such a long time. For example, Monstrology, the new graphics update, and yeah, I just feel like there's so much more potential for Wiz. But to be honest, at this point, I'm 90% sure like by now it's already too late by now, or you never know, maybe there'll be a huge update where it's gonna bring everyone back, and I don't think, to be honest, I don't think the graphics update was enough. I'd say it was like more of a temporary thing where, oh yeah, there might be previous players that might come in, but I honestly don't think it's gonna bring like a lot of players unless they make a really huge update. For example, a really good update which I thought was good was the tournament PvP tournaments, which I predicted for such a long time, because it was magic. Like I don't know, for me it was a little bit obvious, like they had to. But whatever, I'm not here like to toot my own horn or anything. I just think okay, so okay, I'm gonna be wrapping like all of this up. So what I'm trying to say here is that like with how the game is right now and how the community is, I'll probably start posting less. It doesn't mean I'm gonna quit or anything, but it just means that if I do upload any videos, it's gonna be solos or or really small things, because I'm not gonna be uploading daily or anything. So the next I want to say, then like probably the next few videos like throughout this channel is probably gonna be either be solos, the new world that's gonna come out, or I'm actually instead of Wizard 101, I'm actually get out of my comfort zone and upload new videos as well, because honestly I don't see any point of uploading consistent videos of just PvP, because honestly that's probably one of the only videos that you could get views out of this, either that, solos, or the spoiler videos, to be honest, or or new updates on whenever something comes out. But other than that, I really don't see any more, I don't see like any point of like uploading consistently or uploading a lot. But yeah, that was my mini rant, and I think overall I just think I just think it could have been better, like how the entire, I don't know, because there's so much to talk about in this video. Overall, the only way there's gonna be a really, I want to say, a rebirth or resurgence of like a lot of Wizard 101 players or Wiz YouTubers is from King's Isle, and them having a lot of good updates. Like, don't get me wrong, like fishing was good. It wasn't, I don't know, it was whatever. Alright guys, so I'm gonna end off the video here. It's probably been too long by now. I'm by like 30 something minutes by now. So yeah, just leave a like, comment, subscribe, and yeah, I'll catch you in the next time.